So it may be hard to believe, but yesterday actually marked 20 years since Hurricane Katrina slammed into New Orleans, leaving unspeakable death and destruction behind. Katrina came August 29th, 2005, as a Category 3 storm. The storm packed winds of about 125 miles an hour. But Katrina also brought heavy downpours, and that triggered catastrophic flooding in and around New Orleans. That storm surge caused the city's levees to fail, and nearly 1,400 people died during the storm and its aftermath. The government estimating that Katrina caused $125 billion in damages. I mean, and we're still talking about it today.
We're still talking about it and looking at these pictures and just in awe. So joining us now is Phoenix Fire Department Deputy Chief Bruce Tolliver, who deployed with Arizona Task Force 1 to Katrina 20 years ago. When you think it's been 20 years, what are some of your big takeaways from going over there? How do you describe it to people, what you saw, what it was like?
Yeah, it was my first deployment, and I was very new on the team, so it's...
Your first deployment?
Yeah, that was my first one. So, you know, the guys had been a lot of places. They had been to Northridge and New York City and a lot of places. And so that one, you know, you show up, and the first thing that the people remember in their pictures is the big cloverleaf highway where all the people were being collected.
Yeah.
And when you pull up to that and you saw just how many people were there, and then just everything underwater. I mean, street signs are underwater, cars, houses, everything's underwater. So it's for that to be your first one and then not even know, hey, you know, how are you even going to attack this thing? How are you going to start picking it apart?
Where do you start?
Yeah.
So for me, it was, I mean, the people around me that are older than me and had been on the team for a while and been out of their places, they knew what they were doing. But you show up and it's
that's why I have to imagine you have to rely on that experience when it's your first time going to somewhere like that. So now when you think back on the decades of experience you have now, when you look back on that time, what would you tell yourself about, you know, going?
Yeah, MREs aren't as good as people think they are. And that, you know, you have to, you're independent for the first 7 days until they can get food and water and stuff to you, so you're there. But it's, you know, you're packing a lot of stuff.
Tell people what MRE stands for.
Oh, what is it? Meals ready to eat is what it is. But it's the military food that you pack and eat because there's nothing there to eat. There's no food, there's no water, and so everything is you're on your own. When a FEMA team deploys to a natural disaster, they're on their own until things can follow up behind them and get set up as far as meals, bedding, and stuff like that. So you bring your own everything. You bring your own generators, your own water. You shower with water bottles, and
that's the reality that people just don't know because they've never been there.
And something that I feel like people really rely on when they see you, when they see people from a task force coming in to help, is that they just want to feel some hope. They want to feel, they want to rely on you to pick them up. Can you remember anything in particular from that time, or in your training, what are you told to do? What are you told to say to these people who are in such desperate conditions?
Yeah, I think really when in the training, it's what to do in the technical situations, and this was unique for everybody. FEMA didn't really have a lot of boat teams back then. Now we are very heavy with boat teams. We took a lot of dog teams with us to help do searches that we do in other natural disasters. And we couldn't really use them because everything was underwater. So there's nothing that we're not searching buildings in that way. So we really had to learn how to pull a raft or a boat up to a house and then put a ladder off that boat onto a roof of a house so we could get onto the roof of a house and cut a hole to see if people were in the attic.
Oh gosh, so you're learning while you're doing these things.
You've never, I bet you most people on that deployment of any team hadn't had to deal with that type of the rescues we had and how to get to people. Just you're pulling up to their second floor window in a boat.
Unbelievable.
And then the navigation was tough in the sense of all the street signs are below you, so you can't, you know, GPSs weren't a big deal then, they were starting, but to look at a map and go, oh, you're on First and Main, the street signs are under you. You can't see First and Main, so you're floating over everything.
Gosh, it seems like we're out of time, but it feels a little bit short because I want to talk to you more. I don't know if we have time for one last question, but I just want to know, like how Emma mentioned, you're seeing these people, they're in desperate circumstances right now. What do you remember about their reaction? Was it they were relieved to see you? Were they angry to see you? Because it's just such a tough time. You don't know how it's going to be.
Yeah, I think you got a little bit of a mixed bag in that. There were people who were happy, they wanted help, they wanted to get get their kids out of the area and get safe. And I remember specifically we had an older gal who she grew up on that street, and we're like, hey, we're here to get you. We're gonna, take you to safety. And she's like, that's my grade school, that's my high school, that's my grocery store, and that's my laundromat, and I'm not leaving.
Wow.
And so we left her some food, some MREs, because she wasn't going to leave. She was not leaving her house. And so a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
And then we had people who didn't want to leave, and then we came back and checked on them. And then the second time, a day later or 2 days later, they were like, hey, I'm ready now. I don't want to stay here anymore.
We cannot thank you enough for having you in our community and for your perspective 20 years later. All right, everyone, we want to send things over now to